Hello everyone, and welcome to my Bold and Beautiful Today channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Will Carter give Ridge and Steffy back control of his new LLC paperwork? According to teasers for The Bold and the Beautiful, Carter Walton might eventually proceed with some new LLC paperwork, but will he actually give Ridge and Steffy Forrester back control? Fans of B&B will remember how Carter lied to Steffy and Ridge by claiming to be the LLC's manager. Ridge and Steffy unintentionally gave Carter power over Forrester by signing everything because they trusted him. Forrester Creations is currently led by Carter, but this cannot continue indefinitely. Carter is already experiencing a moral crisis since the Forresters will eventually need to regain their company. Brooke Logan has been putting a lot of effort into persuading Carter that he must repair the harm caused by this coup. If Carter makes amends, he still has the opportunity to mend his friendship with Ridge. Through her scheme with Steffy, Daphne Rose has also been attempting to reach Carter. Given the increased pressure on him, Carter may ultimately give up and return Forrester control. If Carter simply gives in and does the right thing, it honestly feels like a pretty dull conclusion to this plot. If Justin Barber, Aaron D. Spears, had assisted the Forresters in devising a legal plan to retake the business by coercion, it would have been more fulfilling. Nevertheless, a lot of viewers are most likely prepared to simply let this drama come to an end. Perhaps it doesn't really matter how it occurs as long as it does. Naturally, we also need to take into account the potential for a snag to prolong this even more. Carter might have new LLC documentation prepared and plan to file it correctly, but he might change his mind. Carter may discover that Daphne is a plant just as he is preparing to return power to Steffy and Ridge. Carter can lose his plot to regain control of Forrester in retaliation for his romance with Hope Logan, Annika Noel, being singled out. In any event, we anticipate more corporate drama, so stay tuned for all the exciting news that lies ahead. According to previews for The Bold and the Beautiful, Carter will have to make some difficult choices in the upcoming episodes. Follow along for updates on his objectives. Brooke's disclosure: does Hope seek to be a cruel evil? According to previews for The Bold and the Beautiful, Brooke Logan heard Daphne Rose conversing with Carter Walton. In fact, Brooke informed Carter that Daphne was correct. Brooke appears to be starting to see her kid in the same way that the Forrester family does. What impact will this have on their relationship as mother and daughter? Let's discuss what might happen next when you finish reading. Losses for Brooke Logan. Brooke seems to have been losing a lot lately. Ridge Forrester, Torsten K., is no longer with the B&B character. Ridge and Brooke were friends even after Brooke lost him as a love relationship. But not this time. It appears that almost everyone is ignoring Brooke. Brooke's own daughter might be the next person she loses. The realism check of Daphne Rose. To help her regain control of Forrester Creations, Steffy Forrester Finnegan, played by Jacqueline McInnes Wood, planted Daphne. Steffy intended to separate Hope and Carter by using Daphne's alluring appeal. They switched strategies once Daphne revealed that Carter and Hope had a closer bond than they had anticipated. Daphne attempted to reason with Carter in the episode that aired on February 13, 2025. Carter can't feel good about this takeover, Daphne clarified. The Forrester family ought to be present, Daphne continued. Carter will only feel worse about what he did as a result of this. In fact, it could explain why, in the weekly teaser clip, Carter urges Hope to apologize to Ridge and Steffy. It's possible that Carter is finally beginning to see things more clearly because of Daphne and Brooke. Overheard discussion. According to previews on The Bold and the Beautiful, Brooke heard Daphne conversing with Carter. In essence, Daphne informed Carter that he was dependent on a poison called Hope. Brooke informed Carter that the nose was correct after Daphne had departed. Brooke may not have been referring to the remarks about Hope, but rather to Daphne's interpretation of the coup. But Brooke has a history of fervently standing up for her kid. It's telling that Brooke didn't stand up for Hope when Daphne branded her poison. I hope Logan fails. Steffy told Hope that even Brooke was beginning to see the folly of it all. Perhaps Steffy is correct, but Hope dismissed the remark. Brooke appears to be losing everything while Taylor Hayes is receiving love and healing. Brooke has stated unequivocally that she wants to return the business to the Forrester family. Meanwhile, Brooke appears to have a completely different perspective on Hope, and it's not a good one. When Hope is ultimately taken down, what happens to Brooke's mother-daughter bond? The startling 6-word response Taylor had to Ridge's return to Brooke. When Ridge Forrester waffles again, Taylor Hayes, Rebecca Budig, may have a few words for him, according to spoilers and updates for The Bold and the Beautiful. The symptoms are obvious, especially when Taylor talks about her faith in Ridge and her vision of their permanent future, but he always ends up going back to Brooke Logan, Catherine Kelly Lang. Ridge will never remain in one place. Does anyone actually believe that Ridge can commit to a single lady for the long term? Ridge's erratic behavior is the only thing that has been consistent throughout his life. He will never settle down for good. Taylor will eventually have to deal with his indecision and regret the day she reignited their romance. Taylor will eventually feel so overcome with regret that she wishes she had postponed their reunion. Even while Brooke insisted that her intentions were good, keep in mind that Taylor was ready to take over as CEO when Brooke betrayed Ridge. Conflict upon conflict. This, of course, was only one layer on top of the already existing problems that plagued Ridge and Brooke's relationship. Ridge's harsh remarks about Hope Logan profoundly distressed Brooke. Furthermore, it is impossible to ignore the fact that Ridge decided to leave when Brooke refused to expel her own daughter from their house. Ridge and Brooke's relationship is still tense, and it appears likely that things will become worse before getting better. However, Brooke and Ridge have always been portrayed on the program as a couple who will eventually find their way back to one another despite all the challenges. We have a lot of hope for their reunion because Brooke has stated with confidence that she and Ridge will be back together by Christmas 2025. Is Taylor ever going to learn? Will Taylor finally accept the fact that she has lost Ridge to Brooke once more as she deals with yet another setback in this complex love triangle? Will she come to the realization that she can no longer chase Ridge, who only causes her heartache? She might finally say those last 6 words to Ridge, "You'll never break my heart again," if she does. It would be nice for Taylor to finally see the pattern and realize that Ridge is unable to give her the steadfast dedication she desires. Future spoilers indicate that when Brooke's wish to resume her romance with Ridge comes true, Taylor may be in for a startling revelation. Ridge backs Steffy's divorce if Finn loses the support of Ridge and Taylor? According to previews for The Bold and the Beautiful, Ridge Forrester and Taylor Hayes are members of Team John Finn Finnegan. However, Finn might lose Ridge's backing if they find out about Luna Nozawa. As a result, Steffy Forrester Finnegan, played by Jacqueline McInnes Wood, might file for divorce and start a contentious custody dispute. Let's discuss what might happen next as you continue reading. Ridge appreciative. Taylor and Ridge thanked Finn for protecting Steffy from Luna in the episode that aired on February 11, 2025. If only they were aware of the fact that Finn is about to reveal the serial killer's identity to Steffy. Usually, someone mentions how great they are together just before a couple breaks up. Therefore, it is very concerning that Taylor and Ridge gushed over Finn to Steffy. The trauma of Steffy Forrester Finnegan. Steffy couldn't help but think of the trauma Luna had caused her, even though Ridge was appreciative. Steffy was kept in a cage after being drugged. Even though Steffy was pleading for her children's sake at the moment, Luna didn't appear to feel guilty. Furthermore, because Steffy is married to Finn, they are almost family. Steffy stated she would never be able to forget her horror. Therefore, Steffy could be firm when she finds out about Luna and Finn's real relationship. John Finnegan's shocking revelation. According to spoilers for The Bold and the Beautiful, Finn has not yet told Steffy the truth. Finn plans to do it, but characters frequently alter their minds at the last minute, as fans well aware. Steffy will eventually find out whether Finn tells her the truth or not. Steffy is sure to issue her customary demands at that point. Steffy will most likely inform Finn that he is not allowed to communicate with or be in any kind of relationship with Luna. Steffy might receive a resounding no, though, given that Finn has lost out on Luna's life and that he questions whether he could have altered her course. The reversal of Ridge Forrester and Taylor Hayes. Steffy might decide to file for divorce as a result. Going through the Sheila Carter-Sharp, Kimberlin Brown issue was one thing. Steffy will never tolerate the father-daughter bonding sessions between Finn and Luna. Going further, is it possible that Finn may lose Ridge and Taylor's support? In the past, Finn typically still had the support of one or both of his in-laws during separations. Ridge never completely turned against Finn, even when he was upset with him. However, this situation with Luna can be very different. Could Finn turn to Luna and Sheila if he loses the support of the good people in his life? This is the request that could end Steffy's marriage. Bill asks Finn to do this one thing for Luna. According to spoilers for The Bold and the Beautiful, B&B, Bill Spencer would urge John Finnegan to do something for Luna Nozawa. Will Bill make a request that would cause Steffy Forrester and her husband to divorce? The canvas will be rocked by the revelation that Luna is actually Finn's daughter. Finding out that Finn is Luna's biological father rather than just her adoptive cousin will undoubtedly catch Bill off guard. Bill will understand, of course, that Luna felt this close bond with Finn on some level. After all, Luna has been discussing her sorrow for harming his family and her recurrent Finn dreams. Additionally, Luna has been wondering if Finn will ever be able to forgive her. As soon as this B&B paternity revelation is made public, Bill might reconsider his current misgivings about whether that is feasible. Bill may finally have a heart-to-heart with Finn and persuade him to view Luna differently now that he has re-established his relationship with her and believes in her metamorphosis. Bill would undoubtedly admit that Steffy was drugged and kept in a cage by Luna, among other terrible things. But Bill will also want to talk about how Luna has improved and how her character has changed. Maybe Bill will emphasize that he thinks Luna is genuinely attempting to change her ways and make atonement. This leads us to Bill's possible request for Finn and the precarious situation it would place him in. Bill might ask Finn to forgive Luna and let her into his heart. Perhaps Bill will hope that genuine repentance will result in Luna getting the father she has always wanted. Bill may encourage Finn to move past Luna's actions so he can truly defend her. Steffy might feel deceived and fear that this is becoming a nightmare similar to the one they have experienced with Sheila Sharp if Finn does forgive Luna completely. Our predictions suggest that Finn might be jeopardizing his marriage to Steffy by forgiving Luna and pursuing a relationship with her. According to spoilers on The Bold and the Beautiful, Luna's paternity will cause a great deal of turmoil. Follow along for updates on all the chaos. Never one to hold back, Brooke Logan was prepared to let her whole fury run wild when it came to Steffy Forrester and Daphne. Brooke had finally had enough of the tensions that had been building for weeks. Her eyes burning with rage, she marched into Forrester Creations with a determined stride. She had no intention of allowing Steffy and Daphne to continue to control the situation. It was time for her to speak up. She had spent too much time in the role of the patient observer. Hands folded neatly in front of her desk, Steffy, always calm, sat behind it. Daphne stood next to her, a faint smirk on her lips but otherwise an enigmatic countenance. Brooke didn't make an effort to be nice. She slammed her handbag onto the desk and spat, "I know exactly what you two are up to. And you won't get away with it," I said. Unfazed, Steffy raised an eyebrow. "Brooke, it's not really surprising that you're coming in here so abruptly. However, if you want us to take you seriously, you will need to be more explicit." With a sneer, Brooke crossed her arms across her chest. "Oh, Steffy, don't be so sly with me. I won't put up with you and Daphne plotting behind everyone's backs. You're mistaken to believe that you have complete control over everything." At last, Daphne spoke, her tone tinged with laughter. "You have a knack for drama, Brooke. However, it appears to me that you are the only one creating a commotion at the moment." Brooke was pushed over the edge by that alone. Her eyes narrowed fiercely as she took a step closer. "Daphne, don't belittle me. I am well aware of the type of woman you are. Steffy is now swooning for every deceptive word you say after you slithered into her world and whispered poison in her ear." Steffy got to her feet, her face hardened. "That's sufficient, Brooke. I'm not sure what kind of dream you have, but you should be aware that Daphne and I are taking care of business. Or have you lost sight of what it's like to concentrate on your career rather than interfering in other people's personal affairs? Brooke chuckled bitterly. Oh, please. Don't give me the lecture. Steffy, I've been in this industry longer than you've been here. Additionally, I am aware when someone is attempting to manipulate events behind the scenes. Do you really think I don't see how you're playing tricks on Finn? How are you attempting to change the past and portray yourself as the victim? Steffy's jaw tensed, but Daphne interrupted her before she could react. Brooke, Finn makes his own decisions. We don't have to lie to acquire what we want, unlike you. A snarl curved Brooke's lips. Daphne, do you truly believe you're so smart? I can see straight through you, though. You are merely an opportunist who is taking advantage of Steffy. Daphne's sneer grew as she crossed her arms. And yet, instead of concentrating on your own life, you are putting all of your energy into attempting to bring us down. Perhaps that speaks louder for you than for us. Brooke buried her fingernails into her hands. That Daphne wasn't shaken was something she detested. She detested the fact that Steffy was standing there, staring at her as if she were a bothersome bug buzzing around their heads. Her anger was only increased by the idea of losing command of the circumstance. You can pretend that you have everything worked out, but I can assure you that you will not succeed. Your small house of cards will eventually collapse, even though you believe you are impregnable. And don't count on me to be there to pick up the pieces when it happens. With a quick exhale, Steffy's patience waned. Whatever you're attempting to do here, Brooke, it's not working. You are welcome to waste your time hurling tantrums and making allegations. However, don't even consider that you are intimidating us. Though she knew she wouldn't receive the response she desired, Brooke's lips parted as though in retaliation. They were too calm, too arrogant. They were not engaging in the manner she had hoped, even though she had stormed and prepared for a battle. She stepped back and let out a loud breath, her fists clenched. This is not the end of it. Daphne laughed quietly to herself. Brooke, it never is. It never is. After giving him a final angry stare, Brooke pivoted and hurried away. Although she was unsure of her next course of action, she was convinced that Steffy and Daphne would not get away with this. Not when she was watching. Between the life she had created with Finn and the irresistible pull of her past with Liam, Steffy found herself at a crossroads. With each disagreement eroding the core of their relationship, the tension between her and Finn had been growing. She had attempted to tell herself that she was content and that her marriage was strong, but she knew deep down that she was deceiving herself. It all culminated one evening when Finn, worn out from the emotional upheaval, made a choice that shocked her. Instead of refuting it, Steffy was unable to deny his accusation that she still had feelings for Liam. With a heavy heart, she realized she needed clarity as the moment lingered between them like an unspoken truth finally being revealed. Steffy immediately picked up her car keys and headed directly to Liam's place. She had a heart full of questions and feelings she couldn't ignore any longer, but no plan or well-practiced speech. Liam was taken aback by her arrival, but he nonetheless invited her in. Something inside her stirred at the warmth in his eyes and the familiarity of his presence. They sat down, and she let herself feel vulnerable for the first time in a long time. She talked about her uncertainties, the widening gap between her and Finn, and how Liam had always been there, unflinching and unchanging. With his heart racing at the thought of what this might imply, Liam listened carefully. He had made an effort to let go and accept Steffy's decisions, but when she acknowledged that she still felt a connection to him, his sentiments were rekindled. Suddenly, the world around them dimmed as he grabbed for her hand. There was still a smoldering chemistry between them that had always existed. Time seemed to have stopped, as though they were destined to cross paths again. But did Steffy really want it, or was she just trying to escape the problems in her marriage? As the evening wore on, Steffy and Liam talked about their history, their prior love, and the faults that had caused them to fall apart. Nevertheless, their bond remained unquestionable, in spite of everything. She began to wonder whether she had been able to get away from the hurt Liam had once brought her by getting married to Finn. Had she been deluding herself with a fairy tale that would never be, or was she really in love with Finn? her heart was troubled by the choice. Opening old wounds, facing their family's criticism, and admitting that her marriage to Finn would not last were all part of returning to Liam. However, continuing to live with Finn meant repressing her feelings for Liam and leading a life that no longer seemed completely genuine. Steffy realized she had to make a decision as daylight drew near, one that would impact not just herself but also everyone in her vicinity. She now understood that someone would be devastated regardless of her choice. The terrible truth about Luna threatened to destroy Steffy's marriage to Finn, trapping her in an emotional maelstrom. The realization struck like a ton of bricks. Finn had concealed things, and now there was no trust. Steffy began to doubt all she believed to be true about their love as the weight of betrayal weighed hard on her shoulders. Tensions had been increasing for weeks. Finn had been guarded, aloof, and getting more and more upset. Although Steffy had a feeling something wasn't right, she never thought the truth would be so heartbreaking. His hesitancy was evident when she finally confronted him and demanded honesty. Then it suddenly hit him, Luna wasn't just another member of his past. He had concealed a deeper connection and a truth that now threatened to topple everything they had worked so hard to achieve. Steffy was enraged. What was Finn hiding from her that was so significant? She felt as though she had been living a lie after fighting so hard to establish a secure life and start a family with him. She couldn't look at Finn the same way because of the profound wound caused by the betrayal. Every memory, every promise, and every touch felt stained by dishonesty. Finn, however, was anxious to clarify, to help her comprehend why he had kept the truth from her. He begged her, saying he was simply attempting to keep their marriage intact and that he never intended to hurt her, but his words seemed hollow. Steffy had always placed a high importance on honesty, and now she could see the cornerstone of their relationship disintegrating. Their disagreements intensified as their emotions ran high. Their once unwavering affection for one another was now tainted by uncertainty. Would they be able to bounce back from this? Or was Luna's secret the last thing that would cause them to part ways? Steffy was thinking about the unimaginable, divorce, amid the confusion. In a marriage where trust had been so badly eroded, could she stay? After such a betrayal, could one really move on? The idea of parting ways with Finn was excruciating, but the alternative appeared equally agonizing. As the days went by, Steffy became aware that she needed to make a choice. Would she leave and start again, or would she fight for her marriage in spite of the pain? Her decision would alter everything, and the future of Shin was on the line.